The first time I hiked toward the Na Pali coast, I was 12 years old and deeply unhappy about it. Wrong shoes, way too early in the morning, and I distinctly remember telling my parents somewhere around the first boulder field that this was a human rights violation. When my own kids were 6 and 9 and asked to do the same hike, I tried to warn them. Tried. My son made it to the lookout, turned around with the biggest grin and said, "Mom, you were so wrong about those boulders." He was not wrong. The Na Pali coast does that to people. You show up a little overwhelmed by all the logistics, and then you're standing in front of those cliffs and none of it matters anymore. This episode is about getting you there. Aloha, and welcome to Hawaii Travel Made Easy. I'm Marcie, and today we're doing a full breakdown of the Na Pali coast on Kauai, how to see it, how the permit system actually works, when to go, what to bring, and the mistakes I watch people make all the time that turn a bucket list experience into a frustrating day. Quick note before we get going, Kauai is my home base in a lot of ways. My mom lives there. I've been going my whole life and stopped counting trips a long time ago. The Na Pali coast is one of my favorite places on the planet, and I never get tired of helping people plan their first time experiencing it. So we're going deep today. The one thing every visitor needs to understand before anything else, there is no road to the Na Pali coast. You cannot drive up, pull over, and take a photo from the car. Every way of experiencing it requires legs, a boat, or a helicopter. And there's actually a fourth option too, which I'll get to. Starting with hiking, the most immersive way to do this. The Hanakapiai Trail covers the first 2 miles of the famous Kalalau Trail and ends at Hanakapiai Beach. It's rated moderate, but take that with a grain of salt. It's rocky, it can be muddy, and the boulder section near the start is a legitimate scramble. My son thought it was the best part of the whole day. Plenty of adults have stood at those same boulders and reconsidered their choices. If you're in decent shape and wearing shoes with actual grip, you'll be fine. If you want to keep going past the beach, there's another 2 miles inland to Hanakapiai Falls, and that's one of those places that makes people go completely quiet when they finally reach it. You do need a permit to continue beyond the beach, so sort that out before you go. You do need a permit if you want to continue on the Kalalau Trail, though, so sort that out before you go. One thing that matters a lot here, Hanakapiai Beach looks beautiful and swimmable. It is not. The currents are dangerous and unpredictable, and people have drowned here. And people have drowned there. When you're done hiking, swim at Koke Beach right at the trailhead instead, where there's a lifeguard on duty. Please don't skip that part. Now the boat tour. This is my personal favorite way to see Na Pali, and I've done it more times than I can count. The first time I did a sunset catamaran with Captain Andy's, I was bringing my now husband to Hawaii to meet my parents for the first time. We ended up barefoot on the deck, watching the sun drop behind those cliffs, and I think that was the moment I knew everything was going to be fine. That's a long time ago now, but the image is still pretty vivid. I've also done Holo Holo multiple times, both their morning snorkel tour and the sunset cruise, and I recommend both companies without hesitation. A boat tour is something else entirely. You're out on the water looking up at those cliffs from below, and the scale of them from that angle isn't something you fully anticipate even when you think you've done your research. You're moving past sea caves that are only accessible from the water. On a good morning, you'll have spinner dolphins alongside the boat and possibly sea turtles at the snorkel stop. There are really 2 decisions to make: what kind of boat and what time of day. Catamarans are more stable and comfortable, which matters for families and for anyone who gets a little motion sick on the water. Rafts get you closer to the cliff face and into smaller cave openings, but you will get wet and the ride is bumpy. Morning tours have calmer water and better snorkeling conditions. Sunset tours have that light. And on a catamaran, with the wind down and a drink in your hand, as the sky changes color behind Na Pali, it's hard to beat. Both are worth doing if you have the time, but I know most people have to pick one. Pricing varies quite a bit by company and tour type, generally starting around $190 for a shorter sightseeing sail, and running up toward $300 or more for a full snorkel trip or a sunset dinner cruise. So it's worth comparing a few options against your budget and your group. One thing I cannot say strongly enough about the boat: take motion sickness precautions before you get on, even if you've been on plenty of boats and felt completely fine. The ocean around Na Pali is different. Those scopolamine patches that go behind your ear are what I swear by. Put one on the night before. Once you're already feeling queasy on the water, it's too late and nothing is going to help you. I've seen way too many people spend their entire tour miserable at the railings. Don't be that person. For aerial views, a helicopter tour is worth looking into. I'll be honest with you, I haven't done one myself. Heights and enclosed aircraft aren't really my thing. But plenty of my clients and listeners have done helicopter tours of Kauai and come back raving about them, and I get why. You're covering the entire coastline in about an hour, flying over valleys most people have never hiked into. And on a clear day, you're seeing a version of this island most people never get. If it's on your list, the main thing to look for is a company with a strong safety record and experienced pilots. Island Helicopters comes up constantly for being the only company permitted to land at the Jurassic Park waterfall, Manawaiopuna Falls, which is a pretty unforgettable option if that appeals to you. Whatever company you go with, read the recent reviews carefully and make sure you're comfortable before you book. And then there's the Kalalau Lookout in Koke State Park, the option for people who want to see Na Pali without a permit, boat, or a helicopter. You drive up to the lookout and look out over the valley. No advance reservation is needed, just a small day-use fee at the entrance, about $5 a person plus $10 to park. And that same ticket covers you at Waimea Canyon Lookout too if you stop there on the way up. This is also usually the moment my clients realize they actually need a rental car for their trip, since there's no shuttle or tour bus up to Koke, just you and a winding mountain road. I've got Discount Hawaii Car Rental linked at hawaiitravelwithkids.com under Hawaii Resources, along with the other Kauai tools I actually use myself if you need a place to start. The view up at the lookout is genuinely stunning, but it's the inland side of Na Pali rather than the ocean side, so it's a very different perspective from the other three options. I've got a whole episode on the Kauai West Side and Waimea Canyon. That's episode 98, if you want to plan a full day around that area. As of this recording, both the Waimea Canyon Lookout and the Kalalau Lookout are open for day visitors after a long stretch of construction disruptions. So you should be in good shape, but it's still worth checking current conditions before you go. If you're trying to decide which of these to prioritize, it usually comes down to who you're traveling with. Families with kids tend to gravitate toward the boat tour. It's easier on little legs, and everyone gets fed along the way. Couples looking for something romantic almost always end up on a sunset cruise instead. And if what you actually want is that feeling of earning the view, working for it, the hike wins every time. If someone in your group can't hike or has mobility limitations, the helicopter or the Kalalau Lookout Drive both work well without leaving anyone sitting in the hotel room. And if you're on Kauai more than a few days, try to do two of these. They don't overlap at all. Seeing Na Pali from the ocean and then standing on the trail looking out at the same cliffs feels like two completely different places. All right, let's chat about when to go. If you're planning a summer trip, you picked the right window. May through September is when the ocean is calmest and boat tours run most reliably. Cancellations from rough seas happens less, snorkeling visibility tends to be better, and the North Shore is at its most accessible. Winter is a different picture. November through March, the swell builds and boat tours either can't run or offer a more limited route. That doesn't mean skip Kauai in winter. The island is beautiful year-round and the hike is still there. But if a Na Pali coast boat tour is your top priority, plan for summer if you can. And keep in mind, if a winter boat tour does get canceled on you, the west side and the south shore almost always have better weather when the north shore is rough. Now let's chat about the Go Haena permit system. This is the part most people don't find out about until it's too late, so really pay attention here. To hike Hanakapiai, you need to get into Haena State Park, and Haena State Park requires advance reservations made through gohaena.com. This isn't a show up and figure it out situation. They will physically turn your car around at the road if you don't have one. You have two ways to get in. The first is a parking reservation. Parking comes in time slots, morning, midday, and evening, and it's $20 per vehicle per time slot plus $5 per person for entry. There are only about 70 visitor parking spots total, so this fills up fast. Reservations open 30 days in advance at midnight Hawaii time, which is 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. Pacific and 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. Eastern. Those spots regularly sell out within a minute or two, not an exaggeration. If you check back around 7 a.m. Hawaii time on the day they open, cancellations sometimes come through, but plan for this to be competitive. The shuttle, though, is actually my favorite way to do this. It runs from Waipa Park and It runs from Hanalei, where parking is free, and it comes every 20 minutes. The ride to the park is about 20 to 25 minutes each way, and your park entry is included in the ticket. It's $45 per adult, $25 for ages 4 through 15, and under 4 ride free on a lap. The first time I took it, I had my son with me, and he immediately declared it a party bus to the beach, which honestly is an accurate description. You're on a shuttle full of people who are all equally excited to get to one of the most beautiful places in Hawaii. The second time I used it was with a group of travel blogger friends, and that's actually when I really appreciated the flexibility of it, because half the group wanted to head back a few hours early, and the other half wanted to stay until late afternoon. With the shuttle running every 20 minutes, everyone just left when they were ready. Nobody had to negotiate. Nobody had to wait around for everyone. That's not something you get when you drive yourself and share a car. My recommendation, make this shuttle your primary plan. If you really want the flexibility of your own car, try for a parking permit too. Then cancel whatever you don't end up using. You can cancel up to 48 hours before for a partial refund minus a 10% fee. Within 48 hours, it's non-refundable. Last thing, there is 0 cell service at Haena State Park. Screenshot your reservation or print it out before you leave your accommodation. You will not be able to pull it up at the park. All right, what should you bring? For the hike, the most important thing by far is your footwear. You want shoes with actual grip and ankle support. Rubber flip-flops are a hard no on this trail. Sturdy hiking sandals can work for some people, but you want something secure on your foot with traction on wet rock. After shoes, water is the next thing to get right. Bring at least a liter per person, more if you're going to the falls. The trail is exposed and Hawaiian sun is intense, and you'll work harder than you expect. Bug spray, because the mosquitoes near the trailhead are real. Reef-safe sunscreen, which is required by state law in Hawaii, not just nice to have. A waterproof bag or case for your phone, because the North Shore weather can shift fast. And a backpack so your hands stay free for the boulder section. And use the restroom at the parking lot before you head out, because there are no bathrooms on the Kalalau Trail. For the boat, pack a swimsuit, a light layer for the return trip when the wind picks up, and your motion sickness prevention applied before you board. For the helicopter, the main thing is they tell you to leave loose hats and scarves in the car. Now, you already know. The biggest mistake I see, and I say this to almost every Kauai client I talk to, not booking early enough. People lock in their flights and hotels. They're excited, and they contact me a few weeks out wanting to hike Hanakapiai, and those parking spots are already gone. There's no real fix at that point. Book your Na Pali access at the same time you book everything else. If you're more than 30 days out, put a calendar reminder for exactly 30 days before your target date at midnight Hawaii time and be ready at your computer. Underestimating the hike is another big mistake. 2 miles in trail distance aren't the same as 2 miles on flat ground, and this trail in particular has conditions that catch people off guard. If anyone in your group has knee problems, limited hiking experience, or the wrong shoes, be honest about that before you commit to the falls extension. Reaching the beach after 2 miles of the trail and looking out at those cliffs is still an incredible payoff. There's no shame in that being your turnaround point. Swimming at Hanakapiai Beach comes up enough that I'm saying it a third time. There are signs for a reason, just don't do it. Skipping motion sickness prevention on the boat, same story. I've mentioned it a couple times already in this episode, and I'll say it one more time because it matters that much. The patch. The night before, just do it. And the one that's purely logistical but derails a lot of people, not having a backup when things go sideways. Boat tours get canceled. Helicopters get grounded. Weather happens. Have something in mind for those days. The west side of Kauai, Waimea Canyon, the South Shore beaches, these are almost always sunny when the North Shore is rough, and they're worth a full day on their own. The West Side episode I mentioned earlier has all that info if you want it. With everything I talk about in terms of Hawaii travel, Na Pali is the one that gets the most "I can't believe what I just saw" messages afterward. It doesn't matter how people get there, on foot, by boat, or in the air. Something happens out there. You show up, and then you just get it. If all this has you thinking about the rest of your Kauai days, not just Na Pali, episode 61 walks you through how I built out a full Kauai itinerary from the ground up. If you want help putting your trip together instead of doing it all yourself, that's exactly what my consultations are for. The 60-minute session is $149. For Na Pali specifically, we'll figure out which experience makes sense for your group, map out your reservation timeline so you're not scrambling, and build the rest of your Kauai days around it. Book at hawaiitravelwithkids.com under Hawaii Travel Consultant. And if you'd rather talk through it with other people planning the same kind of trip, come join the Hawaii Travel with Kids Facebook group. It's a good place to ask questions in real time and see what other families are running into on Kauai right now. For all those resources I mentioned today, the rental car link, tour companies, the Westside episode, my Kauai restaurant picks for the South Shore after your boat tour from episode 102, everything lives at hawaiitravelwithkids.com under Hawaii resources. Mahalo for listening, and I'll see you next time. Aloha.